I'll bet you really hate me.
Oh, no, John, I don't hate you. I just hate basketball.
What are you worried about? I'm in the zone, man! So they're pissed off, I'm in the zone. There's a Razorback in my truck!
What's the matter with you guys? What's the matter with you?
I'll make it. Shot clock. Thurman beat it. Oh!
Welcome to another episode of Arkansas Basketball Recap. That show that recaps every Arkansas basketball game, even ones that Arkansas just hands to the other team. They knew that Auburn was desperate for a win, and they said, hey, we feel bad for you. Why don't you just go ahead and win this game? Because we just, haven't been home in a little bit, just got done playing on the road at Ole Miss, and we just kind of want to get on the plane and get out of here. So we're just going to let you do whatever you want. And that was nice of them, but it wasn't fun to watch at all. Look, if we had like a pick'em show and we were doing, if we picked every game or something like that, I actually would have picked Arkansas to lose this game. I kind of thought
you said you were concerned about it at least twice to me.
Yeah.
Before that game.
Yeah, I gotta pick us to lose this game, because it's back-to-back road games, and Auburn was super desperate. Auburn had to have it, and
when you think about, these things, they don't. When you have a major, when you're a juggernaut, you can overcome some of these things. But that's the thing about Arkansas, and I don't think it's telling us something we didn't know, but it's just affirming what we already probably knew. This team is good, but they're not great. Like they're not a juggernaut. They're not what some of like Connecticut was last year or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they're not stomping people into the ground. They're not beating teams by 20. They have some really good pieces. And this is one of those games when you're just a good team. You have the late night Wednesday game, start at 8:00. You're on the road. And then that one goes, actually ends up being kind of close down the wire. Then you immediately have to I don't even know what their schedule actually was. Did they even come home? I guess they did. They probably came home. They had to have rested a day. And then they have one day, not even, I guess they have probably part of Thursday evening to practice because they got to fly back. They got to fly out Friday. Yeah. So it's just dude, and anybody, even if you're on a private plane, whatever, just traveling and getting your stuff together and getting in a hotel room. And then you go to somebody else's practice facility. It's not the same as being Auburn where you are at home on Tuesday, then you've got 4 days of just resting and scheming and being in your own facilities, being in your own comfort zone, sleeping in your own bed, ready and waiting for someone to come in. And so I think when you're not dominant, those things do make a big difference. And I'm not sure that's exactly what it is, but dude, you could tell something was off with a lot of those guys. Acuff looked like he was his downhill driving looked like he was going at about 75%.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
Yeah. It's funny because Acuff still finishes. He's like, I'll go get 19 points. I'll go do that because it's whatever. This is
it just was inefficient, and he missed more. I felt like he was driving and he was doing the thing that other guys do, which is when you're a little bit smaller, he'd get past his first guy and then he'd see that second defender coming, and where normally he's like, well, I'm going to the free throw line, or maybe I'll even get an and one and I'm going into this guy's face. He would drift slightly away and try to make a more difficult scooping layup. He did that several times. There was a couple of times where he drove all the way in, and because what I like is when he drives in and just puts his shoulder in and tries to just kiss it real tight off the glass. And he did that a few times, but I just noticed more often, and like I said, I think it looked like a little bit of a fatigue thing to me. He looked like he kind of didn't want to do that. So there was one moment in his drive where he would slow up, and then he'd realize he didn't have the momentum to go into that person, and he's probably going to get blocked because it's a big waiting for you. So instead, he tried to drift a little bit, and then it's like a really tough sweeping angle on both sides. He did that, and they just didn't fall, and so he ended up a lot less efficient than normal.
Yeah, well, here's the issue, man. Listen, you can lose this game. Like I said, I expected them to lose this game. Wasn't going to be like overly concerned if they lost this game. I do need you to show up to the game like that. Like, I know, like we've said that the issue with this team is like defensive consistency. I mean, the defense in this game was just abysmal, man. I mean, like you gave up 95 points, but which is, a lot. You score 73, which is, I mean, not enough for this team, obviously. Apparently, we have to score 90. 90 wouldn't have got it done this game. But like the defensive effort was pretty bad, like from the jump. I mean, we were like, hey, if we can get in a shootout and make enough shots, we'll take the win, but we're not going to play that hard defensively. And this is the case because, I mean, Arkansas has been doing well in the rebounding battle, and they get out-rebounded, 37-28. It's stuff like that. It's guys getting blown by, not because some guy busted out some great move or whatever, but just because like they weren't down in a stance and they the effort wasn't there. Guys getting blocked, like just like miserable blockouts that were like just terrible. I've been freaking out on a high school girls team for blockouts like that. So yeah, the juice wasn't
guys
there.
On the outside, like doing a lot of, and this is why I think fatigue was part of it, or just being out of it.
Yeah,
just a lot of like hoping the other guys are going to do it. Like it's like I'm kind of almost out by the 3-point line. The shot's going up from the other side instead of rushing into that 14-foot area where I might have a chance at fighting someone for a board. Instead, I'm going to kind of leak out. And whenever I see people do that all the time. It's like, dude, that's subconsciously you being like, you're like, oh no, I'm if somebody else gets it, I'm available for this leak out. It's like, you're being lazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's trying to leave it to somebody else to do the dirty work so you can just like benefit from. It's also the easy thing to do. You know what I mean? I mean, I've been yelling at my daughter for that. I'm like, stop standing at the 3-point line when the ball goes up, get your butt in there and rebound. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and there was a lot of over dribbling, like the ball movement wasn't great, like all that kind of stuff.
Cal was right at halftime, 100%. I mean, I was screaming at my TV and things like, what were these 3-pointers? It's like, guys, I know that they're leaving you somewhat open, but also you can just tell these like, and I want them to take 60% of those threes that they took, and they just missed them, and we still probably lose. That's fine. But there was so many where it's like, Brazil would catch it, and the guy that's closing is coming like from the right side, and the whole left side of the floor is wide open. I mean, there's nobody. I'm like, oh my God, dribble drive. Like this guy's coming out at you. All you got to do is dribble drive, and you're one dribble and a dunk. And this happened with Acuff too, and a couple other guys where it's like the whole like there's all kinds of openings for drives, and this guy's coming out at you, and instead you're going to just chuck up another 3. It's obviously not as it was to me. It was clear that those were the things that the offensive effort included with the defensive effort. Like these guys were not wanting to play really like, and I mean I understand it. Like I'm sure to them, I mean they're sweating, their hearts racing, but dude, it's that other we always talk about. It's like there's just another level that you have to play at in college to win. You have to ball out 110%. You can't do even 90%. Like it feels like you're like I said, you're sweating, you're exhausted, dude. If you want to win, those guys are playing balls to the wall. You can't play kind of to the wall. You know what I mean? It's like, and you could see that on offense and defense that they were settling for shots because they didn't want to put the effort into driving.
They changed that a little bit the second half because I think they took 16 threes in the first half, which is a lot for us. And we ended up shooting 21 threes for the game. So like they must have he must have ripped them.
Cal
up.
said he was like, oh yeah, he was like, we don't shoot threes. And he wanted to get 2 feet in the paint. I actually have to say, I did not like the way that we started the second half trying to get 2 feet. Like I literally can ask my wife. I was like, why are we ISOing Brazil with his back to the basket? Like if I'm another team, I mean, I'm not saying he can't score. He scored a few times. He got fouled a few times. It's so slow. You're down
Yeah.
by 20. It's such a slow way to score. If I'm the other team, I'm like, perfect. Acuff is standing watching Brazil back down somebody that he may or may not be able to score on. Like, fine with me. You score 2 points at a time, or maybe one from the free throw line and miss the other one. Like, and 48 seconds go off the clock, and you guys get 1 or 2 points that way. Fine by me, just as long as Thomas and Acuff aren't racing up and down the floor and getting our guys in foul trouble. So I didn't like the way we got in the paint in the second half, and I know it was because they were doing switching and there was a mismatch. But it doesn't matter, dude. I for basketball, I'm kind of a post player some of the time. I'm not great, but I would. Well, we've said this all the time. I would rather back down a guy my size than a guy that's really fast and smaller. It's so hard, like because they come around, they slap at the ball when you're dribbling. It's just they don't play you physically at your shoulders the way they're down at your hips. It's like I just don't like it. I don't. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to go. Oh well, if they're going to mismatch, then I'm just going to take this option of scoring because, like I said, it's slow. It's not what Brazil's good at. It just to me takes everybody out of rhythm. It's like that's not what you do. And we weren't doing what we are supposed to do in the first half, which is just chuck up threes. But this is also not what we do. We got to get back to Acuff downhill. And I'll say it again, dude. I really think Cal missed this. I need another scoring stat or another statistic in the analytics, and it's like points or plus minus when you're on the floor. But I want good thing, bad thing happen when you touch the ball. Like not even when you're on the floor, but when you touch the ball, because you could be on the floor and never touch the ball, and it's like you have a bad plus minus, but it's because everybody around you was being terrible, you know. But like Malik Ewing, when he touched the ball, I guarantee you his good thing, bad thing happening was the best on the team. Why I don't know why we didn't try to post him up and get him in the paint, and because I mean I'm not saying he didn't ever do anything bad, but like. They were having a harder time not fouling him. He's way better at that, and he can pass a little. Like, and obviously it doesn't matter. We weren't going to win the game if Malik, and had 50 touches. But I was shocked at how little they were trying to force the ball to him. I want to see him getting involved from the free throw line down on the block. I like when he touches the ball.
Yeah. I was going to say so. I thought everyone was terrible. I don't know what's up. I don't know what's wrong with Knox as far as like the hip thing. I mean, he only played 7 minutes, and then I guess he got a hip injury. I actually thought while he was in there, Knox actually.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I didn't get to see most of that 7 minutes because the game before.
I watched it on the app, so I could I
didn't do that. Yeah. I maybe need to go back and watch. Were we any good in the first minutes? They acted like.
Yeah, actually, we were.
Yeah, they acted like we were in the commentary.
But Knox was like diving on the floor. I think that's how he got hurt and stuff. And but in this game, which was over kind of early, yeah, I agree with. I don't know how bad. Hopefully, Knox is not hurt bad. By the way, like that would suck. Hopefully, he's not, and this isn't like a lingering thing. And hopefully, Cal's just being preventative and being like, this game's over. I'm not putting you out there.
And maybe, dude, we don't know. Darius Acuff could be
dinged up,
coming down with the cold or coming off of a cold. To me, he looked like he didn't have 100% energy in the gas tank.
Yeah.
And like I said, I love Acuff. I mean, I think he's the man. You know what I mean? And I think he did try, but I could just tell that he looked a little bit fatigued to me. He looked like he didn't have the same burst. And whether that was literally just what I said about the late game. And I mean, he came off that game 2 games ago and was, a little bit fatigued. Maybe he's fighting through some little cold or something like that, which isn't nothing, dude. Like, anything that saps your energy can make you play 25% less good. But I did want to say this though. I thought the one bright spot was Ewing. That's I do. And Malik Thomas, those 2 guys.
Yeah, Malik Thomas had flashes. He also had some like turnovers and stuff that.
But I felt like his energy, I couldn't complain about. He was now maybe he made some mistakes mentally on defense. You know what I mean? And on offense.
I just thought he did that thing where he over dribbles sometimes. It results but that's just he's gonna do that sometimes.
But on defense, he was at least trying. I mean, he was getting some steals, getting his passing. Like sometimes I think he probably even maybe took a chance you shouldn't have, which resulted in them getting a bucket. But I thought his effort looked good, and he looked. You know what it was? It's those 2 guys looked the least like they quit, or not quit. I don't want to say the other guys quit, but they looked the least scared.
Yeah.
Like when they caught the ball, it's not that they always did the right thing. In fact, I think Malik made some mistakes. Like he would catch the ball and his body language was like he had some energy. He was trying to do it, and it kept that way all the way through the game. Whereas it felt a little bit like, dude, there was some shoulder slumping. There was some, we ain't winning this. Let's just get out of here.
Yeah.
Please don't pass me the ball because these guys are rabid dogs and I just want to leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I can't complain about Ewan. 13 points, 12 boards. Like, I mean, you got a double, bro. So I'm not going to complain about that. I thought, and I even liked it when we had the ball at 3. The highlight of the entire game was Ewan at the top of the key, and guy like literally steps back, and Ewan's like, "Man, that's kind of disrespectful. Let me shoot this real quick."
Yeah, I wanted to see them do some screening with Ewan and what's the guy's name? Why can't I think of their big guard? That killed us with 30 points. What's his name?
Yeah, Keyshawn Hall. Yeah,
yeah. I wanted to see them try to because they were doing a lot of switching, and I wanted to see them because they're punching you in the mouth every time. I wanted to see us try to switch and get that guy on Ewan and have Ewan, because he's big enough to bully him a little bit, and try to get some fouls on that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try to get some fouls on some of their guards or their big men. And Ewan is great at picking up fouls. I mean, that one game he fouled out like all that team's big men. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is. And he shoots free throws well enough. I mean, he was 6 and 9. It's like good enough. Like I'd go get to the line, man. But yeah, I mean, Cal said, after the game that wasn't my team. Like, we're gonna get on the bus as quick as possible. Get out of here, burn the tape. That kind of thing. Like, that's not my team. Yeah, and I know what he means by that. Like, that's not indicative of who we are. But it is. I do think that you have to. And I don't know, man. You probably need someone in the locker room. Maybe it's DJ. I don't know. Somebody to be like, guys. We got to figure out this defense thing. We got to be more consistent on defense. And there was not any defense really played in this game, but by us. Because here's the thing, dude. Like, we scored 73 in a game where like we were kind of crap on offense. I know
it is still crazy that like we didn't end up. It felt like one of those games where you look up and go, "Man, we got beat by 30." It was 48 to,
we got beat by 20. Well, we got beat by 22.
But I'm just. It felt like one of those games where we shouldn't have had that many. Like, you're like, we had 70 in that game.
Yeah, we were bad on offense and still scored 70. Again, we've said this before. I mean, scoring is not really going to be our issue. Like, you could look at this game, and because we played bad offensively and our field goal percentage wasn't great, it still was like 43%, which isn't, that's not great, but it's still like, I don't know. We shot 38% from 3, which is like.
Dude, we had games with Muss where we were, no joke, in the 20s, like the high 20%, like just travesties of offense.
Like, do you think the problem was that we shot 43% or that we let them shoot 57%? I don't think it's that. And
well, that is the defensive issue becomes an offensive issue because it's like, yeah, your offense is really good, but you're going to lose a third of your games if you literally have to score 95 to win.
Yeah, well, the other thing too is like if you don't get stops, you can't get like Arkansas wants to play fast. They want to play up and down. But you can't do that if you don't get stops. Like, you might think that and Arkansas scores off in transition and off turnovers, but we didn't turn them over a bunch or anything. But but you can still, like, if your opponent wants to play fast, you don't have to get steals in order to do that. You can just get rebounds and go. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, that's what Arkansas is so good at, is like board and we are up the court. Well, you can't do that if they're making 6 out of 10 possessions, they're putting the ball in the hole. Like, you just like, and now you're not playing your game. Now you're in the half court all the time. And we're okay in the half court, but it's not what we want to do. Like, we want to get out and run. And I'm sure Cal and the other coaches are telling this, like, hey, you guys like to run? You like to play fast? defense is what initiates that. Like if we can play better on defense, the offense will be even better because of the kind of offense you want to play.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this. I mean, this is going to sound overly negative, but watching that game, even though it was, like I said, I really hope and pray that that was an anomaly.
Alabama got punked by Texas, so like we weren't the only ones that were out there just like
Oh,
and Texas looks terrible.
There's
So
no doubt, and you can tell me what you think. Which one of these you think it is? Because I'm actually not sure. We've talked about this before. There's always almost every year you have one of these games where
yeah.
nothing can go right. I mean, you're dribbling it off your foot. You're doinking every shot off the back of the rim. The other team, because like this is the other thing is, I mean, those guys were wide open, but they still knocked down the shots.
Yeah,
They still
yeah.
shot a really good percentage. I've seen games where teams are getting open looks, and it's like, God dang, they just can't hit them. And even though this team is playing garbage defense, they just can't knock down these open looks that they're giving them. But it could be that. I hope it's that. But based on the way this team has played defense all year, and especially like even in that last game where they gave up the 16-point lead to a bunch of bench players, there is also the possibility, and it looks to me like maybe it's partially true. To what degree, I don't know, but I don't think this team has a chance at winning a national championship, which, I mean, I'm not saying like maybe that was a long shot anyway. They're 18th in the country or whatever, like that you wouldn't expect the 18th team best team to win. You'd expect it to be one of the teams that's in the top 10, but you can't win all the way through the tournament with that defense. It's gonna bite you at some point. You're gonna run into a team that
it has to get better. Like it has to get better.
Or like, because even the offense, as good as it is, it just can't sustain that kind of giving, like I said, letting another team shoot 60%. You're going to lose. Eventually, you're going to have a bad shooting night, and you're going to, instead of scoring 98, you're going to score 88, and you're going to give up 92 because your defense is that bad. And now, like I said, maybe it will get better. The thing that I'm worried about is the thing we've talked about even since last year is there's two components to defense. There's athleticism and talent, which we have in spades. And then there's the other part, there's three parts. There's effort, which I think our guys, you can manufacture effort. You can make guys play harder. You can teach them to go to that other motor, that next gear. But then there's intelligence, and it's, I'm not saying you're dumb but there's a kind of mind we talk about all the time. There's like guys that are good passers. There's great point guards that do not have good passing brains. Like they just don't see the floor that way. They're awesome at dribble driving and shooting and all this stuff. But I mean, maybe Allen Iverson was that way. You know what I mean? It's like his assists were always low and his points were always sky high. Although actually I know people are going to yell, he still had really good numbers and assists too. But there are guys that just don't have a mind for the geometry of the game. And that same mind is required on defense, because the margins on defense, off the ball defense especially, are very, very small, especially at this level. And the way you're turned, and whether you take one step too far this way when you're shading, and when the ball is swinging, the intuitive communication between two players where it's like, okay, they crossed it across, so I'm getting there, you're dropping down, and not all the way down, because you don't know that the pass is coming, but you've got to go halfway between, or maybe even 2/3. Anyway, blah, 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 all that stuff. I think not all of them, but many of these guys are low on that intelligence scale, as far as just like intuitive, knowing where to be, feeling where the next move is, where I need to slide to. And to the degree that they have success on defense, it's mostly through their athleticism and their energy. You know what I mean? But
I think what that means is that, one, you're going to have to like really coach it, so that there can be no deficiencies there. Like there can be no, I don't know what I'm supposed to do in these situations. So you have to like coach that if you don't have the sort of that, if it doesn't come naturally. And then the other thing is, because you do have the athletes, then you're going to have to insist that you're playing. It's got to be effort defense all the time. Then like that's how you make up for it. Right. Like, because this team is not going to be elite defensively because of the reasons you just said. They can be better though. Like they can be better.
Yeah, they can be smart. And I think the evidence of what I'm talking about is, I mean, everybody knows, like, you've seen that, like, some friggin' like 6'3" white guy that's not that athletic that gets all kinds of steals.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, he just is intuiting where the ball's going and like where the passing lanes are, or even literally where that he's studied tape and he knows how this guy crosses over. He knows that when he goes between his legs, that then he goes around his back and crosses over before he shoots, and he just takes the ball from him. It's like, we don't seem to have that guy, like that guy that's unathletic but still excels at defense somehow. And when the evidence of that also was like, they're out there on the floor, when you have a bad game, you see teams break down on defense and like, oh, the ball swung over there and we're not there and I'm running out. When we play bad defense, when we play without a little bit of effort, when we're one step slow, guys aren't kind of open. There's like a whole side of the floor open and guys are looking at each other going, oh, I thought you were going to get him. And then one guy's like, oh, I guess I'm jogging out here. That happened like 4 times where it was like two guys looked at each other and went, oh, are you not going to go over there? And then one guy was like, I guess I'm going to jog out here, even though you're like obviously shooting
Do you remember
8 feet before I get there.
You remember Jimmy Witt and how he could guard like any position, any guy, any type of player because he was just like so defensively smart
and had a gifted set of tools, athletically and body wise, but not unlike Billy Richmond or someone like that.
Yeah, but he was like he could flip it like, oh, I'm guarding this kind of player now, and like so I know exactly. Like, he was so Jimmy Witt was like he just understood defense. He just understood guarding, and he was great at it. And yeah, we don't have a lot of that.
I feel like sometimes our guards think that, and there is a time to do this, but it's like it's a vacillating. It's always changing where you should be, whether you should be hip to hip or 2 feet away to try to bother the dribble. You know what I mean? Because it's like they don't understand. They think, well, if I'm hip to hip with this guy, if I'm up in this guy's shorts, then I'm playing good defense. It's like, well, no, like also that means that when he does get around you, you're behind him. It's easier for him to get, not easier, but when he does get get over your hips, now you're screwed. You know what I mean? Now you're behind them. Whereas sometimes the right thing to do is to be a little bit in front of him and bothering the dribble. You know what I mean? And it changes literally second to second based on where the sideline is and stuff. And it feels like a lot of times our guards are over pressing. You know what I mean? Like they're like at not, and sometimes you want that because you want to bother, like, I like bringing the defense to the player and bothering them, but like, it's like, sometimes it's at the wrong times. It's like, there's too good of a passing opportunity there. You need to be bothering that pass with your arm. Whereas instead you're right up inside trying to reach in on the other side. And the guy just is like, well, I'll just swing it over there to that open guy. You know what I mean? Like you got to be, it's basic see ball, see man. You got to know where everyone is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, we're just complaining now.
Well, they got need to right the ship against South Carolina. Can't lose to South Carolina at home. I know that. Like you got to figure that out. And I'm nervous about the next, which there is only one of them, but the next back-to-back road stretch. Like that's going to make me nervous. Like about having to do that twice, and like that's not us getting screwed or anything. Every team has to do it a couple times in the season where they got to play back-to-back road games and. Let's see if we can get it fixed before that happens again.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not convinced that that's not an anomalistic game and that these guys won't be okay. Like I said, I don't think they're going to be defensive juggernauts, but that we won't still win the same amount of games or similar amount of games that we had expectations for. But as a, burned fan that's seen seasons go sideways, you definitely go, well, I didn't like those indicators and warning, you know what I mean? There's like, it's like the first indication of, and like I said, I don't think this is going to happen because I have trust in Cal. And I really think, like I said, ACUF is built a little bit different mentally and stuff. But it's not like I can't envision a version of this team, somebody getting hurt like Carter Knox, going in and losing another close game here or there, and then having this thing start to be like, oh my gosh, are we going to be 500? Are we going to be below 5? Like there's a way for seasons to go sideways on teams. And this team's not so good that they're incapable of that threat. So it's just the first warning where I'm like I said, and this is definitely being a fan that has watched their teams lose a lot, just going, oh, don't do that. Let's have that be a one-time thing. Bury the tape. Don't let that be an indicator. And like I said, I think it is coupled with the fact that they almost lost the game before by blowing a lead. And it just makes me, you know what I mean? I'm just once bit, twice shy.
Yeah, yeah.
Or only it's like 80 times bit.
Yeah, but we weren't going undefeated in the SEC. We were going to lose some games on the road. I mean, the positive thing is that you said, hey, you just split your road trip. You played 2 games on the road back to back. You split them. You know, like I think it's less. I don't think it's likely that it's really indicative of much as far as that stuff goes. That's going to happen. Like I don't know how many. I don't know if we win half our road games. And you know all our home games. I'll probably be fine with that. And so if you're going to lose, like it's just. Yeah. Do I know why we lost this game?
It's not the loss. It's not the loss. It's the way you lost. You know what I mean? Like I would have no issue. I mean, I'd be bummed and I'd be complaining and I'd be saying some negative stuff if we lost by 8 or 9. But like the Houston game, like you know, we were down by a bunch and then we came back and like made it respectable. And I mean, Houston's a freaking amazing team. With Auburn, you're like, I'm not sure how amazing they are. They're okay. They're middle of the road, and you just don't want to get spanked. Even getting, like I said, having a bad 20 minutes, but like to make it bleed, go to halftime, like focus, have your coach yell at you and go, okay, yeah, all right, guys, we can't do that. Like, and at least come out and play even the second half, but like to just get spanked all game long, both halves by a not dominant team is like, it was just a little bit, it's like a slap in the face. You're like, whoa, are we as good as I thought we were? You know what I mean? But so we'll see. But it was definitely the manner in which we did it.
For sure. All right. Well, I got to run because the wife has to leave. And so I got to go. But we'll be back after the next game. And,
sorry, guys. I know that wasn't very fun.
Better be a dub. We need to get that dub. We lose to South Carolina at home. And then
it'll be red alert.
It'll be something else going on. So, all right, bro. I'll see you then.
All right, we'll see you. Bye.